Hey, I guess I have. Some of my friends said I have 3 people watching. Hey, welcome, third person. I'm just silently uh, viewing this app. Welcome, third person, whoever you are, whoever you are. Do I get actually a roster of who's watching? Do I see a breakdown of peeps? I don't really see the 3. Huh. Anyway, yeah, so that's the, if you can hear me, Mike, text if you can hear me. It's awkward, because, can you text? On with the delay. There, haha, I see you going, the delay is like 10-ish seconds, and the reality, in the VR headset, I can't see the screen. I have to take the headset off. If you see the camera, if you see the screen, the stream, the video stream, shift up, like, and look at towards the sky. It's because I'm looking away from. I'm taking the headset up so I can look at the screen, and this is just awkward in general because hide the tips. There we go. Can I see? No, and even on YouTube, when I go full screen, I can't even see the chatters. So I have to have YouTube not in full screen. So anyway, the plan is, this was major milestone. I can do this. This is my feed. I load pretty fast. It's loaded in, I'm guessing 30 seconds. Reload at 30 seconds. I guess to back. Loaded an Ox, Dragonfly, an Argo or 2, Fighters, Retaliator, Vanguard, and a Carrick, and a Starfarer, and a Polaris. And as a thing, because it's synchronous, they put in the background. One is done at a screen. The second, I had a first version of this that shot them off. Like, knew that when I load ships, it would load them all. Some ships come back for others. If I say ship 1, 2, ship 3, 4, ship 5, come back, completing different orders, and ship 3 loads, and ship 4 loads, and ship 1 loads. And so they would get lined up. The intention here is they're lined up by length. Don't have any smart algorithms here or anything. There's no real thing computing things in the industry to go here. I mean, actually, I have started a sorting algorithm that when I add a ship, it'll go on the list and it'll find where it goes and it'll put it in there. But this specific lineup is more of the intention of this app, which is sorry, I have a button. Hold on, I just found a button. And let me just check my chat and see if you've texted. When you look at all of them, audio cracks. Looks good though, and animation is smooth. This is the viewer. This one can come in and there'll be a UI that pops up on the screen. Didactic, is that the term? It'll be didactic. It'll I don't know if I want it didactic. The Mobi-Glass is a compromise between didactic and non-didactic, where didactic is literally when you'll pop up as something will come out of the floor and you interact with it in world space, and it's fixed. It's like you have the idea of a terminal sticking on the ground. And actually, if you look way over here is a cube. There's that cube way over there. That's the spawn point for the camera. Every time I add a new model, the spawn point is recalculated to be the center that's a viewpoint. That most of the field of view. To have all the field of view, I can easily compute but it was so far away. You can see it's already pretty far away. Um, that's the spawn point. So, elements around, but someone has to UI at the interaction. So instead of a terminal that pops in the world, there is the option, the content is a screen overlay. Well, in VR, it's kind of weird because you can see my little mouse cursor. I can't point that thing towards me. Like, I'd have to turn around and point it back. I can't see what I'm doing, but I'm literally pointing the controller. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? No, it doesn't. I don't know why it doesn't show up correctly. Let me rehome it. On screen virus, the Smith's leaf version. Everything like that. The laser right and the I want to be a UI where you add with that. If the next thing is the standard 3D modeling move, rotate, scale, and there's no scale going on. These are loaded. And specified links, normalized specified links, so there should be no scaling. It would basically be scaling things up and down. Any different, you could maybe scale them up and down all, but not individually. Am I crashing here? I think I just crashed. Huh. Why did you just crash? Maybe because it's hot. I think my phone's too hot. No, it's back up and running. Hold on. We're back, I think. The mouse? That's weird. Oh, so the world is frozen. Sorry, it's just an illusion. The world is frozen. I think my phone is hot. And that's part of building this app, is to test and see. So we've hung up here and we're stream die. Maybe I can just close that. Okay, anyway. Nope, still alive, but definitely seeing all those polys is doing something. So I had to kill it. Anyway, I feel like I'm sort of rambling here because I can't see the screen. I can't get feedback on whether you can hear me or not. So I just got the VR headset and I'm talking to the midair. I would have a standard 3D editor where you can move and rotate objects. So I'd have the mouse cursor the control, and I would use the little laser pointer to do a beam trace or ray tracing or whatever onto an object, and I'd click on it, and then I could control whether I want to move it or rotate it. And then I would move it or rotate it, and I could move it towards the Polaris, and I could kind of arrange them all the way I want. And so I can add ships, remove ships, and you get the point, I'm pretty sure. But I'm just kind of brainstorming now that I've got that number, the ships loading. That was that was the technically difficult part, which is obviously still has flaws and is too bleeding edge. I can make it look better for sure. I can use a decent shader, but I don't think I would get the performance and the frame rates. It probably would be okay. I don't know if it would be okay or not, but I was removing that as a record the visual and then record the audio after. Yeah. Agreed. Haha. You can see your text coming up on the phone. Yeah. So this streaming is just an experiment. I've never streamed through this YouTube successfully before. And I think it records here. I think I can go back in and edit it. This is just sort of an experiment to see what I can do post-processing these streams, if there is any post-processing. I know I'm just rambling, but it's really just you and me and the mysterious third person, whoever it is. Yes, lower poly models would be cool. So I was going with the lowest of the lowest of the low, low overhead shader. I was reading from Unity, and they said the most efficient shader that they have is this thing called a vertex lit directional light only. And so I edited that shader and made it a two-sided version, because we have to have two-sided for these models, because these models are meant to be viewed in an X-ray viewer. So the X-ray viewer itself doesn't care about normals at all. They actually are all literally two-sided shaders where they play with the transparency through all of them, so you can see through the ship. So I did the same thing, but I don't make them transparent at all. They're 100% opaque. So yeah, I can probably get the thing to be more performant. And trying to load all the models, trying to kind of experiment with what is the maximum number of models I can do. I could load my fleet, and that's kind of the point, is I have a more realistic number of ships that I can load. If I had a fleet of 10 or 20 ships, that's kind of pushing it. But most people, I think, would have a fleet of 5, 10 ships. I don't know, actually. I don't know what the median is. I could eventually do some sort of analytics. I could, as the developer of this app, I could do statistics on the number of ships that people add and figure out what kind of the average ship fleet size is. So any cool little things I could do. That's it. Anything else? There's a 10-second-ish delay between me talking and you typing. So that's about all I can think of. It's low, kind of trying to summarize, it's low poly, but I'm not really interested in making it look good. I'm more interested in making it function well than look good. I think the looks will come back in, and especially even if this thing took 3 more months to get written, things would only improve. New phones, new hardware. Yeah, it's an alpha of an alpha and alpha. So it's an alpha. My app is an alpha, and Star Citizen is an alpha. Yeah, I get that. and I have the basics down that someone could, if they, I don't know, I have the code here. This is like what, I don't know if you can see that, code. That's how I load my fleet with all that. So it's pretty, oh, you can't see that. Can I enlarge my, I'm just that little thumbnail. Oh well, you can't really see that. I'm not streaming my desktop. I'm not doing multi-streaming. And these are their pre-optimized models. So art test, basically, yeah, real high poly. Yep. 0 optimizations on these models. So I think there's room to play with. I need to get a little bit more usable. I would play with the 3D movement of your models, the ability to move them around. What my goal, my personal goal, is the ability to, kind of talking through this, would have to turn on better shaders so that I can go inside of the ships with a different shade. I have the shader. It's just when I use it, it cuts down on a frame rate. So if I just flip over a different shader, I can go into a ship and I can see it. I mean, the Idris is beautiful inside. Lighting, well, it's directional light. You can have your shader can ignore the objects around it. As far as it knows there's a directional light around, so the surface is just lit, whether you're inside or outside. So you don't have to put a light inside of the model. You just get a ubiquitous, worldwide directional light that casts a shadow in a single direction. And you can paint multiple around. Yes, but I can do inner lights, yes. And the inner lights would get you special effects, like you can make them red and blinking and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I could do lights, but it's not necessary for functional. It would make it beautiful. Just like textures, I think of lights like textures. I get the point as far as a fleet viewer. I don't need lights and I don't need textures. I can see the polys, and that's good enough for me right now. But my goal is to be able to go inside of the Polaris and kind of set different ships down inside of the Polaris using the controller. And grab a Hornet, Super Hornet, set it down inside the Polaris. Move an Argo in there, move things around, kind of fit a Dragonfly in there. The Polaris is actually poorly detailed inside. There's the hangar. You can see the hangar inside, but I could try a version of this without it's quite simple to flip over to the shader. I can do a different shader. Where is that sucker? Oh, wrong file. Shader. I think the standard was vertex two-sided. I think this actually crashes though. I think there's a bug with the shader. Not a bug with the shader, is I'm not loading a certain texture the right way. Material. Anyway, I'm rambling. You said, yeah, gotcha. I'm not going to load up the other one, but I have zoomed around inside of an Idris in this VR. If I load a single model, especially zoomed around, floated around inside of an Idris and inside of a Polaris, and they're lit. You can see inside of them. A single model, you're not highly concerned with efficiency. But I want to be able to drop a ship down inside the Polaris to start off with, and obviously then yes, if I want to do a Polaris, the next thing would be an Idris. I sort of thought an Idris would be a little outside of the possibility. Now instead of putting one ship inside of another ship, it's like the subsumption problem. I mean, I'm not literally doing the mathematical ownership, objects inside of objects and containers and all that stuff. But it is much simpler to put a single pocket ship inside of a pocket carrier than a. I don't really need an upper hanger version. There's no bounds. There's no hit detection. There's no collision detection. Sorry, there's no collision detection. I can just move objects through objects. So everything's free floating. Everything's well lit. There's no real reason why having a hanger open or not wouldn't make much of a difference with the correct shader. But I just want to kind of get a feel for how, literally in VR, what can I fit inside of the hanger of a Polaris, given that now I know that I've properly scaled all of the ships to match the same metric. And then I would, with the Polaris, playing with it and trying to pack the hanger full of maybe one fighter, maybe an Argo, a Dragonfly, and a Nox. What can I get inside that hanger? Then the next step would be to see what I can put inside, in VR, what I can put inside of the Idris and pack inside that, and I mean, fill it full of Idrises or Noxes, or I think that'd be kind of fun, and that would make the Fleet Viewer sort of a time killer little game. So ship pile, yeah, just pile them on, and the next thing is the ability to move ships, and that would be necessary. I think I've been working on this way more than I should have over the past week. So yeah, probably gonna take a break before I pick back up on moving objects. Although I say that, and I'll probably just do it anyway. Yeah, but I think it'd be fun to put the Idris. The Idris is actually surprisingly small, and it's the old Idris. I'm pretty sure it's the old Idris model. The new Idris is larger, and I have thought that if I don't expect it anytime soon. I'm not expecting it in general, but who knows, if fate be, if I ever make a Citizens of the Stars, then and if I get interviewed, I would ask them to, like, please provide better models. The CTM file format actually is pretty efficient, but with its efficiency, I mean, it can do in 25 megs, and the Idris is 25 megs. You explode that to an OBJ file, and it's 600 megs. It's like ridiculous. So the CTM file format is very efficient in what they pack in there, and it's great for viewing things over a web and just snapshotting that object and loading it into a web browser and viewing it. But the advantage of OBJ is it carries lights with it. Yes, CTM does not. CTM only has normals and textures. It has no lights in it. So yeah, but I would want better models. Like the 85X is missing. There's a couple other models that are missing from the spreadsheet. That I have a spreadsheet where I'm tracking the stuff that's on the store, where I go out and I manually went to the holo viewer of all of the ships and turned on the Chrome inspector and found the CTM file. It's pretty straightforward to go grab them all, but there's some, like this 85X. There's not a what's the crap, I can't remember the name of the car they just released. The V, where is it? Where's the... I don't have it. Where is Sheets? Cyclone. I wasn't even thinking of that. The Cyclone. There's no models of the Cyclones. And then the Idris is the old Idris. So they're missing some models. Some of their models are outdated. You would think with the Spectrum or the I can't remember the name of the company that makes the Spectrum up in Canada. Crikey, just totally spacing on the name of the company. Turbulent. They're redoing the ship matrix. I kind of think that while they're redoing the ship matrix, maybe they'll redo the HoloViewer, maybe they'll redo the models because they're going to have all the stats. Be nice things to have for the community to have these things that they can build third-party apps with these resources. Come up with decent resources. Provide normals like the CTM files. The CTM file format supports setting normals, but only the Aurora has normals. Not every model in this in the RSI fleet of all the ships, not every model has normals in this file. So you don't need them. It just helps improve the quality of the image, and that may be why some of the images, some of the models render better than others. Anyway, long rambling, 31 minutes of rambling. So, yeah, it's been fun, but I've been putting too much work into it. Time to take a small break. Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason why those are the high poly models. Understood, yeah, they may not want, and the models, in the spreadsheet, I have listed all of the CTM files that I'm loading, and like some of them are named LOD2, and I suspect that sitting right beside that LOD2 file is an LOD1 or an LOD3 possible. So it would be nice if they provided different levels of detail. The community could build tools and make movies. I mean, this is make models. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they probably don't give easy access to these ships. So it's their prerogative whether they do or don't. It's easy enough to reverse engineer and speculate that there's an LOD1 file sitting right beside the LOD2 that I know about. So yeah, but it'd be nice if they just listed what they have, made it available. Maybe someone can just reach out to them. They won't just freely provide it, but if someone asked, then they would provide it. Then that person would be an asshole and then publicly disclose it. Anyway, I'm gonna head home. It's 8 o'clock, so later. Ciao. Bye-bye.